tomorrow morning, you could add 1 simple teaspoon of a common white powder to your coffee or water. And within a few weeks, start feeling a warmth and a vitality return right where it matters most. That solid, confident feeling you remember from your younger years. No doctor's visits, no risky medications, just 60 seconds every morning. And yet, surprisingly, most men your age have no idea this even exists. I'm Dr. Claire Weston. For over 20 years, I've specialized in men's health. And I've dedicated my career to helping men rediscover that spark. Whether you're 60, 70, or beyond, I've seen firsthand how the right natural approach can restore the performance and confidence you thought were gone for good. Your best years, they might still be ahead of you. Here's the surprising truth most men never hear. The number one reason men lose their edge after 60 isn't always testosterone. It's the loss of blood flow, caused by a drop in something called nitric oxide. Without it, even the strongest desire can't deliver results. But there's a way to restore that flow naturally, and it doesn't come from a pharmacy. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through the natural amino acid that works with your body to boost nitric oxide, open up your arteries, and send healthy blood exactly where you need it most, so you can enjoy stronger, longer-lasting erections without dangerous medications. But before I tell you exactly what it is, you need to understand why circulation changes so dramatically after 60. And why fixing this hidden cause might be the most important thing you do for your health and your masculinity this year. And real quick, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss any of my health tips designed specifically for men over 60. And if this message is hitting home for you, drop a 1 in the comments. If it's not quite landing, drop a 0 and tell me how I can make these videos more useful for you. Now, let's talk about why circulation down there changes so dramatically after 60. Because understanding what's actually happening inside your blood vessels is the first step to fixing the problem. And once you get it, the solution I'm about to share with you becomes even more powerful. When you cross that threshold into your 60s, your body carries decades of history with it. Years of hard work, stress, celebrations, loss, and just everyday life. Every heartbeat, every meal, every late night has left its silent mark on your blood vessels. And for a lot of men, that history starts showing up in a very personal way. Things down there just aren't the same. I've sat across from countless men in my office right here in the States, men who whisper their frustrations. Some embarrassed, some angry, some just resigned to it. They tell me they feel fine overall, but when the moment comes, the response just isn't there. And they almost always think it's about desire or testosterone. But honestly, it's a story about circulation. Inside your body, there are miles of blood vessels, from the big highways like the arteries in your legs and heart, all the way down to tiny little side streets no wider than a single hair. The smallest ones feed the penis, and they're roughly 3 times narrower than the arteries in your heart. That means any stiffness, any plaque buildup, any inflammation shows up there first, long before you'd notice problems anywhere else. Over time, the once flexible lining of those vessels, called the endothelium, becomes less responsive. It doesn't open up as easily when you need a fast rush of blood. And without that rush, you can't get or maintain the firmness you used to take for granted. What makes this even more frustrating is that it doesn't happen all at once. The change is slow, almost invisible. At first, you might notice mornings are different, or that you need more direct stimulation. Maybe it takes longer, or you lose firmness partway through. And that quiet shift can make you start avoiding intimacy, even if you never say it out loud. But here's the part that should give you real hope. Just because these changes are common after 60 doesn't mean they're permanent. Once you understand the real culprit behind this decline, you can take specific steps to reverse it. And to do that, we need to talk about a molecule that controls whether your blood flows freely or gets stuck in traffic, and why your body produces a whole lot less of it as you age. That's where things get really interesting. When I first started practicing medicine, I thought I understood why so many men struggled with performance after a certain age. I assumed it was all about hormones, specifically testosterone. But as I dug deeper into the research and spent more time actually listening to my patients, a different picture started to emerge. Over and over again, I found men whose testosterone levels were still in a perfectly healthy range. And yet, Their ability to get and maintain a firm erection had faded. That's when I started focusing on something most men have never even heard of: nitric oxide. Nitric oxide isn't a supplement or a vitamin. It's a molecule your body produces naturally, and it is the single most important chemical signal for your blood vessels to relax and open up. Without it, blood can't flow freely, especially into the smallest, most delicate arteries. Think of it like a green light at an intersection. Without that signal, traffic backs up. Your heart can keep pumping. Your desire can be right there. But without nitric oxide, the blood simply doesn't get where it needs to go. Here's the hard truth. Your body's ability to produce nitric oxide drops dramatically with age. By your 40s, production is already in decline. By your 60s, it can be cut in half. That means your blood vessels aren't getting the message to open up the way they used to. And in the penis, where blood flow is literally the foundation of performance, this drop in nitric oxide is devastating. It's the silent reason a man can go from full confidence to frustration in just a few years. I've had men in my office tell me they tried medications that promised overnight fixes, only to end up with headaches, flushing, or flat-out disappointment. Those drugs might push the system temporarily, but they don't address the deeper problem: your body's declining nitric oxide reserves. And that's exactly where the real fix lives. Here's the good news. There is a way to restore those reserves naturally, to help your body start producing nitric oxide again day after day. It's safe, it's simple, and it starts with something you can measure in a single teaspoon. That's where the story takes a powerful turn. Over the years, I've watched countless men chase complicated routines in search of better performance: strict diets, expensive supplement stacks, exhausting workout programs, only to burn out before seeing real results. And I get it. Life after 60 already comes with plenty on your plate. The last thing you need is a health routine that feels like a second job. That's exactly why this 1 teaspoon works. The first time I recommended L-citrulline powder to a patient, I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting a miracle. I knew the science. L-citrulline is an amino acid that your body converts into L-arginine, which then gets converted into nitric oxide, the molecule that signals your blood vessels to relax and open up. But I didn't know just how powerful it could be when taken consistently every morning in the right amount. A few weeks later, that same patient came back into my office grinning in a way I hadn't seen before. He told me he felt warmer, more energetic, and, without getting into too much detail, that his confidence in the bedroom was back in a way he thought was gone for good. 1 teaspoon. That was all it took to start giving his body the raw material it needed to restore blood flow right where it mattered most. And he's not alone, not by a long shot. I've seen men in their late 60s and 70s experience the same kind of turnaround. The beauty of L-citrulline is that it works with your body, not against it. It doesn't force an artificial rush of blood. It gradually rebuilds your capacity to create nitric oxide naturally, so the results feel steady, reliable, and real. And maybe best of all, it's easy. You can mix it into water, juice, or a morning smoothie. No complicated schedules, no rigid regimens, just one small habit you can actually stick with every single day. Now, I want to address something important because a few of you may be wondering, okay, Dr. Weston, but where do I actually get this? And can I take it if I have high blood pressure? Those are the 2 questions I hear most often, and they deserve a straight answer. L-citrulline powder is widely available without a prescription. You can find it at most health food stores, pharmacies like CVS or Walgreens, or on Amazon. Look for pure L-citrulline, not citrulline malate, which is the form commonly used for athletic performance and comes in higher doses. For the circulatory and sexual health benefits we're talking about here, pure L-citrulline is what you want. A standard dose is about 3 grams, roughly 1 level teaspoon, taken first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Now, for those of you managing high blood pressure, because L-citrulline naturally lowers blood pressure by opening up blood vessels, it can actually be beneficial. But that also means you need to talk to your doctor before adding it to your routine, especially if you're already on blood pressure medication. The combination could drop your pressure lower than intended. This is important. Please don't skip that conversation. For most healthy men over 60 with no serious cardiovascular conditions, L-citrulline is considered very safe and well tolerated. But when in doubt, check with your physician first. Your safety always comes first. Now, back to the full picture. Although this habit can change your physical reality, there's another side to poor circulation that no amount of science can ignore. And it's the part that hits closest to home. That's what we need to talk about next. I've sat across from men in my office who can talk about their cholesterol levels, their blood pressure readings, even their heart surgeries without flinching. But when the conversation turns to intimacy, their voices drop, their eyes shift, and there's often a long pause before they speak. Poor circulation down there doesn't just affect the body. It cuts into a man's sense of identity in ways that are genuinely hard to put into words. It's not just about whether you can perform. It's about confidence, connection, identity. I remember one patient, a proud, hard-working guy in his late 60s from right outside of Chicago, who told me he'd started avoiding even small moments of affection with his wife because he didn't want to start something he couldn't finish. You could see the frustration on his face, but underneath that, there was something heavier, the quiet pain of feeling like an important part of his life had just slipped away. This is the hidden cost of poor circulation. It's not just physical, it's emotional, and it can create distance in relationships that used to feel effortless. When circulation suffers, it can lead to self-doubt, insecurity, and even a full withdrawal from intimacy. Some guys throw themselves into work or hobbies or other distractions. But deep down, the absence of closeness leaves an empty space. It's a loneliness that can exist even when you're sitting right next to someone you love. The good news? I've seen this change. I've watched men come back to life, not just physically, but emotionally. When their blood flow improves, the smiles come back. The lightness returns to conversations. Physical closeness starts to feel natural again. That's why addressing circulation is about so much more than just performance. It's about restoring a part of life that brings joy, purpose, and real connection. And for that change to last, you need more than just the desire to improve. You need a habit so simple and effective that it becomes part of your life without any friction. That's where the real power of 1 teaspoon every morning becomes crystal clear. Here's something I've noticed consistently across more than 2 decades of practice. It's not that men don't want to take care of themselves, it's that complicated plans almost never last. I've seen guys try restrictive diets that fell apart by day 5, gym memberships that became really expensive keychains, supplement shelves that looked like a mini pharmacy but never got touched consistently. The truth is, life after 60 already comes with enough complexity. What you need is something that fits into the rhythm of your mornings without you even having to think about it. That's why this works. You wake up, you take 1 teaspoon of L-citrulline powder, you mix it into a glass of water or juice while the coffee's brewing. You drink it, done. No tracking, no complicated protocols, no willpower required. Just one small consistent action that sets the tone for the rest of your day. And here's the thing about simple habits. When something is easy, you actually do it. I've had patients tell me that before they found this, they felt overwhelmed by all the rules they were supposedly supposed to follow. But once they started this one habit, they found it wasn't just doable. It was actually something they looked forward to. They could feel their energy improving, their hands and feet felt warmer, their confidence started coming back, and intimacy began to feel natural again. It's a chain reaction, and it all starts with one effortless step. Unlike a quick fix or a pill that wears off after a few hours, building nitric oxide levels with L-citrulline happens gradually and sustainably. You're not forcing your body to do something. You're giving it what it needs to do the work itself, the way it used to. That's why the results don't show up overnight and then disappear. They build week by week. But knowing how to take it correctly can be the difference between seeing mild changes and truly transforming your circulation. So let me walk you through the specifics. When it comes to something as important as your circulation, the details matter. I've seen men try the right supplement but take it at the wrong time, mix it with the wrong things, or stop just when their bodies were starting to respond. L-citrulline works best when you treat it like a daily ritual, something you do with intention, not as an afterthought. I tell my patients to take 1 teaspoon, about 3 grams, first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. This allows your body to absorb it quickly without competing with a heavy meal. Mix it into a glass of water, light juice, or a morning smoothie. Keep it simple. A lot of guys make it part of their kitchen routine. They fill their glass while the coffee's going, drink it down, and get on with their day. It's such a small habit that it's almost impossible to forget, but the effects over time, they can be remarkable. Hydration is another piece of the puzzle. Blood is mostly water, and when you're dehydrated, circulation suffers. I always recommend keeping a water bottle nearby throughout the day, especially if you're adding L-citrulline to your routine. And don't underestimate movement. Even a 20-minute walk after breakfast helps drive that improved blood flow into every part of your body. You don't need to train like an athlete, just get moving. Your blood vessels will thank you. Patience is key. Some men notice changes within a week, but for most, the real magic happens after a month or two of consistent use. This is about gradually building nitric oxide levels so your body learns to keep those blood vessels open naturally. It's not a sprint. It's an investment in how you want to feel in the years ahead. And unlike prescription options that come with a long list of potential side effects, vision changes, headaches, heart risks, L-citrulline is gentle on your system. That's a big deal when you're over 60 and already managing other aspects of your health. So here's the bottom line, gentlemen. Your 1 teaspoon is pure L-citrulline powder, not a mystery pill, not a gimmick, just a simple amino acid your body already knows how to use. Over more than 20 years in practice, I've recommended this to athletes looking for better endurance, to men recovering from cardiac procedures, and to countless patients over 60 who simply wanted to feel like themselves again. And time after time, I've seen it help restore not just circulation, but a sense of possibility. What makes L-citrulline so remarkable is that it works with your own body's chemistry, rather than forcing a temporary rush the way many medications do. It helps your body rebuild its ability to produce nitric oxide naturally. That means better blood flow to your heart, your brain, your muscles, and yes, to the place that matters most when it comes to intimacy. And because it's safe for most men and free from the severe side effects that can come with prescription options, it's something you can incorporate into your daily life with real confidence. I've seen men who thought their days of passion were over come back with a light in their eyes. I've watched relationships warm up after years of distance, and I've heard more than one man say, "Dr. Weston, I feel like I got a part of myself back." That's not just biology at work. That's what happens when you give your body the tools it's been missing for years. All of this from 1 teaspoon every morning. It doesn't require you to overhaul your life. It won't drain your bank account. And it doesn't put you at risk. It's about making one small, consistent decision until that decision changes how you feel, how you connect, and how you live. Here's what we've covered today. After 60, your circulation changes. Declining nitric oxide levels quietly steal your confidence. But 1 daily teaspoon of L-citrulline can help you take back what aging has taken away. This isn't about turning back the clock. It's about helping your body function at its natural best, without shortcuts, without side effects. In over 20 years of practice, I've witnessed remarkable transformations, not just physical ones, but in how men carry themselves, how they reconnect with their partners, and how they greet each morning with renewed purpose. One simple daily ritual can create ripple effects across your entire life. The question isn't whether this can help. The question is, how much better could life be? Tomorrow morning, that 1 teaspoon could start rewriting your story, one where vitality, intimacy, and confidence come back faster than you dare to hope.